There are just a couple more testing features I'd like to point out before we move on to Dreamweaver's publishing features. Some other very useful features are under this Check Page option. Notice this icon here in the top right of the workspace. And if I click on the little arrow, you'll find this is another place where you can check for accessibility. But this is also a place where you can check browser compatibility. And remember, I've pointed out a few times in this series that the same web page can look different from one browser to another, and especially look different when you're talking about older versions of web browsers. So Dreamweaver has built in some features that help look for common problems that happen among different web browsers. If you come down to the settings option here, you can actually specify which browsers and which browser versions Dreamweaver searches for. So you can choose whether you want an earlier version of Firefox to be your criteria. Now, the earlier number you choose here, the more likely Dreamweaver is to find compatibility problems, because many of the biggest differences in the way pages are displayed in browsers are seen in older versions of browsers. So setting this on 5.0 is going to result in many more error messages than setting this on 7.0. Dreamweaver uses 6.0 as a default today, assuming that few enough people use browsers older than that to be worth worrying about. Ultimately, it's really up to you to decide which browsers are important to your audience. And one of the best ways to do that is to look at the log files on your web server and actually check what the traffic is that's coming to your site. Most good web servers and all of the good tracking systems that you can add to your page to measure traffic, such as Google Analytics, will give you reports on which browsers and which versions of those browsers are actually visiting your page, so that you can find out what the highest percentage of use on your site might be. With that information, you can make much more informed decisions about which browsers you should target in your designs. A couple of other little things that you might find useful. Here under the Commands menu, you'll find a simple little spell check. Always good to double check spelling before you publish your site. Very easy to do here. You'll also find some options to clean up XHTML and clean up Word HTML. These are here because when you copy and paste content from a program like Microsoft Word into Dreamweaver and you keep the formatting as you do that, you're likely to bring in some redundant or superfluous code. So Dreamweaver has designed this command to go through and clean up the common code errors you're likely to find when you copy content in from Microsoft Word. Similarly, if you're working on an older website or a site designed in a program outside of Dreamweaver, this Clean Up XHTML option may also be of use to you.